Good morning. Sometimes solutions to the strangest of silly problems you just completely miss. And this is one of those situations. I bought a bunch of core mats or filler material to try and glue two carbon panels apart from a certain distance. Now, these are the extra brake lights that are going to go in the wing end plates. And this is basically 8mm thick. I struggled to find a core that was that thickness, and playing with my new Bambu printer last week, kind of forgot that I could just print them. Stupid, and it hadn't really occurred to me before, to be totally honest, because they're not really structural. They just want to hold their own weight up, so really you don't have to be too worried about the structure. So I basically 3D printed the cores. That obviously gave me the advantage that I could print them with the slot already there, so I didn't have to machine a slot later or file it out or whatever else for the cables. And also I could obviously print these recesses in here to put the inserted aluminum spacers to sort of and stop the things from getting crushed when you tighten it up. This one here, we've glued both sides together already, so it's countersunk screws in there. And obviously you've got a bigger hole here that goes through to the spar, but then the electrical cable, there you go, drop the screw on the floor. The electrical cable will come out at that point. So now we have our perfectly spaced cores, which is great. Sometimes you just kind of miss the obvious. Now, as far as gluing these on together, you don't really want sort of runny epoxy, especially the epoxy that I'm trying to use for infusion, because it is the viscosity is quite low, which is great for infusion. But when you're trying to just glue these, well, basically PETG plastic parts to the wing, to the carbon surface, excuse me. Like so, it's a lovely sort of carbon face to that, because obviously the peel ply leaves that kind of rough finish, which is great when you're gluing stuff to it. So what I've done is use some of the resin that I didn't have a huge amount of and didn't want to risk a panel build with the not having quite enough. I've used this system here, but then I've added a silica thickener and basically mixed it up until I got a thickness that was that I was happy with. This is what I made yesterday, and then I just dropped some black pigment into it just to make it that little bit nicer. I'll probably end up using this kind of stuff to fill the edges. So we'll sort of fill the edges up here and around there. I'm just going to square the panels at first, but then effectively that will be, oh, there you go. You could use like Bondo to fill the edges up with the pigment, and I'm going to try that later, see if that's a little lighter. But yeah, basically what we've ended up doing is putting a flat surface on there, put these in position. I'd already pre-drilled these, put some bolts through, and then I basically painted with a brush, which, well, yes, now it's gonna, that's dead. But didn't paint all the way close to the center of the bolts. When I tightened it up, I didn't epoxy the bolts in. But you can basically see that is now glued on, and then I did these two sides are done now, so this is basically ready for trimming. So yeah, that's the end plates. Do I over engineer everything? Quite possibly, but that's, you know, that is what it is, and that is me all over. So yeah, so I've got to do some rounding of the corners and various other bits and pieces, but we're pretty close. The old, or should I say, the new Bambu, you know, may the force be with you. Couldn't help that. Had to put a stick on. That's printing on a dash vent for a buddy. I got some material left on a spool which I wasn't gonna big enough for the next project, so I thought, well, I'll just print this instead. That thing is ridiculously quick. So yeah, that's I think hopefully the anodizing I think is all ready today. The stuff I dropped off last week, so I'll pick the anodizing up. We did get back the chroming. We had a few parts that basically were just bare steel. I didn't like to do that, so I took it to the shop and we just got them chromed. They were supposed to be just nickel plated, but the guys chromed them instead. But that's okay, that's fine. There was only half a dozen small parts. Oh, and the adjusters, these the camber adjusters, they were they were bare steel, so now they're chrome. So one less thing for the damn thing to rust, should we say. Okay, well, there you go. Now it's 5:30 in the morning, or close to 6 now. Needless to say that, yeah, I couldn't sleep last night, so screw it, let's get up, let's go and do something useful. Speak to you soon.